What's up, folks? Zen here. It is Monday, January 13th, and this is my new toy, or my new goodie, which is a Dapple Dandy Pluot. Want to give a shout out to the fine folks at El Plantio Nursery, which is my favorite nursery to go to. Love the people who work there. It's family owned. It's been around for, who knows, maybe 60 plus years. But I had to pick up a pollinator for my Flavor King, which I planted last year or last winter. Take a look at the trunk sizes too. This Flavor King has been in the ground for a little over a year. You can see how it's grown. And then now here is the Dapple Dandy Pluot. Pluot meaning Plum Apricot Hybrid. I had my first Pluot from Costco, and I loved it so much. I went out and picked up what was the top seller variety, which is the Flavor King. And then later on I realized, or I found out, that the Costco Pluots are Dapple Dandies, known as Dinosaur Egg. If you see Dinosaur Egg brand, that's a branding label, and they are Dapple Dandy Pluots. But I originally got this Flavor King, and I got this Japanese Beauty Plum. But, and I am keeping this one in a container, and it's not really faring too well. In my last video, I pointed out it developed some kind of a bark disease, or maybe some invasive insects. So hopefully it'll heal. But I noticed this was flowering at a different time than the Flavor King. So I ended up picking up the Dapple Dandy because they are both mid-season Pluots. So they should flower at the same time. And they're right next to each other. So I've got a pollinator in ground to go along with my Flavor King. And this one was not bare root. I picked this one up in a pot. I didn't want to deal with the bare root plant. I've heard that bare roots aren't as healthy as the ones grown in pots. Plus, it was easier just to pick this up out of the container it was grown in and just plunk it into the hole that I prepared. I backfilled with a mix of native soil and homegrown compost. I added mycorrhiza. I added volcanic rock dust. I put a top dressing of earthworm castings, and then I covered it with a fine shredded wood chip mulch that I had picked up from the HOA. If you look all the way down there, there's a building down there, and that's where they pile wood chips for everybody in this HOA to use. So I grabbed a bunch, and that's what I remulched all my trees with this winter. So yeah, got myself a Dapple Dandy and a Flavor King Pluot. My other new goodie is this blueberry bush, and unfortunately it doesn't have the tag on it, so I forgot what variety it was. I'm probably going to go pick myself up another variety. This was grown in one of those cylindrical containers, the tree containers, the ones for rooting trees, in a nice vertical manner. And so yeah, I up-potted it into this 5-gallon. It's got azalea mix, acid-loving mix, mixed in with pine chips, and of course the usual rock dust and mycorrhiza and earthworm castings. So I'm going to grow this one out in the 5-gallon, and when it gets fairly sizable, I'll probably up-pot it into a nice pot and add a second blueberry bush. I found out that blueberries do well when they're paired with each other. They can cross-pollinate, so you'll get bigger yields, better fruit. So I've got the Dapple Dandy, and I picked up a blueberry, and I also picked up a passion fruit vine, which I will show you in a bit. I planted it on the other side. This is the passion fruit vine I've been trying to grow from a cutting. It's been in the ground probably a year and a half, and it's finally reached the top of this fence, but it doesn't look all too good. I did manage to get 2 fruit off of this. This is the second one that is starting to ripen. The first one I tried, really liked it, really enjoyed it. So I wanted to grow more passion fruit. Unfortunately, this one isn't growing as well as I hoped that it would. But yeah, it was a cutting that I grew over not the past summer, but the summer previously. I took it from another vine that had died just after I took the cuttings off of it. So I don't know if the cutting I took was healthy or whether the growing conditions are just still fairly poor, but this is not doing too well. But then when I passed by a passion fruit vine that I saw at the nursery, I basically had to go pick it up. Let's take a look at it right now. Okay, walking past my little mango grove. These are the mango trees I'll be planting out in the spring. The manila mango and the fruit punch mango. And let's go take a look at the passion fruit vine that I put in. Look how healthy it is. Look at all the growth on it. So when I saw this, I finally remembered what a real passion fruit vine is supposed to look like, which put the one that I was trying to grow, or I am trying to grow, to shame. So I ended up having to pick this up. And so we're going to grow it out here. Hopefully it should fill out and grow along this whole fence line. And if it continues to grow healthy, I'll take cuttings from it and grow them out and see if I can populate the other fenced area that I just showed you. This one's already got blooms on it. This spot is curious because nothing else was grown here. And then I dug down and I found a fairly sizable rock underneath this thing. So I don't know if that's the reason. I mean, there's a whole bunch of these bird of paradises lining this area. This spot was noticeably bare of anything growing there, which kind of made me a little suspicious, but ended up digging down and finding a fairly large rock, which I left intact. Hopefully this thing will be able to grow around it and spread into the soil laterally, if not being able to dig down deep. But we'll see how this fares. So yeah, those are my new toys. I'm pretty much done with everything that I want to plant for now, but I'll probably always come across something new that I want to put in. Anyways, hope you're all having a fine day. This is Zen. Take care, everybody.